Today I will talk about the hypothalamus in details, so let's get started. So I will start with its embryology. Let's take a quick review here for the neuroanatomy. We've got the prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon, which is the forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain in order. The forebrain will give rise to telencephalon, the cortex, and the diencephalon, which will give the thalamus and the hypothalamus. So why is the hypothalamus really important? It connects the CNS with the endocrine, so you can be tested on hypothalamus either on neurology tests or endocrine tests. This is because part of it is not protected by the blood-brain barrier, whereas other parts of the brain sit in their ivory tower. Hypothalamus has a central role in regulating thirst, hunger, temperature, sexual urges, and circadian rhythm, which is also called sleep-wake cycle. So mainly the hypothalamus controls the body by regulating anterior and posterior pituitary hormones. So the hypothalamus produces releasing hormones and a couple more hormones. It releases thyrotropin releasing hormone, dopamine, growth hormone releasing hormone, somatostatin, gonadotropin releasing hormone, corticotropin releasing hormone, oxytocin, vasopressin. So let's study them individually. Starting from TRH, thyrotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to release TSH, which stimulates the thyroid to release T4 and T3. The hypothalamus also releases gonadotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to release FSH and LH, which stimulates the gonads to release sex hormones. The third hormone is corticotropin releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to release ACTH. This stimulates the adrenal to release cortisol, the stress hormone. Number 4, we've got also GHRH, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to release growth hormone. This makes liver release insulin-like growth factor 1. The hypothalamus also releases number 5, which is the somatostatin, as I call it somatostopin, because it inhibits the gastrointestinal secretions like pancreatic and pituitary secretions. Heading to hormone number 6, which is the dopamine. It plays a central role in reward, memory, and movement in the human body. Following, we've got oxytocin, which is the premium cause of giving birth and lactation. Lastly, we've got ADH, which stands for antidiuretic hormone. Some people also call it vasopressin. It's a hormone produced by the hypothalamus but released by the posterior pituitary. ADH play a key role in regulating the body's water balance and blood pressure, as well as blood vessels. So where do all these hormones come from? So the hypothalamus is composed of a group of nuclei that work together, mainly to control the body. We've got suprachiasmatic nuclei, which is here. It regulates sleep with the pineal gland. We've got the supraoptic nuclei, which is responsible for making the oxytocin and ADH, the posterior pituitary hormones. We've got the paraventricular nuclei, which is also responsible for oxytocin and ADH production, as well as TRH and CRH production. Talking about the lateral nucleus, it's responsible for hunger feeling. If it's damaged, the patient will suffer from aphasia. The ventromedial nucleus is important in the feeling of fullness. If it's damaged, the patient will never stop eating. The anterior nucleus is responsible for cooling. If it's damaged, the patient will suffer from hyperthermia. posterior nucleus is responsible for heating sensation. If it's damaged, the patient will suffer from hypothermia. In addition, the preoptic nuclei is responsible for producing GnRH, thermoregulation, and sleep regulation. Arcuate nucleus regulates metabolic signals such as leptin, ghrelin, and insulin. Dorsal medial nucleus, as shown, regulates feeding, drinking, body weight, and sleep-wake cycle. Finally, the mammillary body is a part of the limbic system,